Welcome back. As in the previous videos, we studied about the different types of joints. And in this video, we will deal with the muscles, how the movement of muscles takes place, how the bones are moving. Now let us study in detail that the muscle contractions, how the muscle contracts and relax. Due to that contraction relaxation, the movements are possible in the body. What are the present in that? The triceps on the upper part of this area and the biceps over here, they alternate contraction and relaxation of these two muscles. The movement is possible. Then here the bones, the insertion point, where is the origin? Let's discuss all these points in detail. As you can see, when I hold my hand like this way, what is going to be happening? This is the contraction of the biceps, and here triceps, what is going to happen? This is the contraction of the biceps, and here this muscle relaxes. So alternative contraction and relaxation takes place of biceps and the triceps. Why these are known as this way? You can see the muscle joined to our bones. I told you earlier that muscles are joined to the bones, or the skeletal muscles, they work in pairs. In pairs they work. It is not only that only the one single part is playing role, they work in pairs. When one muscle of the pair contracts, as I told you, the biceps and lower triceps, when they both alternatively work together. Now when one muscle contracts, then other muscle pair will stretch. One is a contraction, that means come near to it, other one will get relaxed. So the stretched state, stretching state means when it is stretched, that is relaxed state. And when the muscle contract, as I am pulling my hand like this way, here the muscles are getting contract. So contraction means shortening the length. So contracted muscle that can come back to its origin. Now when I hold my hand like this way, the muscle is being contracted, it comes to the original state only when the muscles, when they work in pair. When this one is relaxed, this is contract, and when this is going to be relaxed, then it becomes contract. So this alternate pair work continues. Now muscle, that is a fibrous tissue. What is it? That is a fibrous tissue in the body that is ability to contract. And when muscle contract, as I told you, when it is contracted, that means it is shortening, it length shorter. And muscles, these are attached to the bones of a skeleton through a strong fiber. Bones and muscles, they both are attached to each other with the help of, the name is known as tendons. And cartilage, as I told you, when the 2 ends of the bones are attached by the cartilage, and the bones and muscles are attached with the help of the tendons. Now how bones move? How the bones move? When I am moving my hand, this is actually movement of the bone. But do you think that how it is moving? When the muscle attached to the bone, when this muscles, here the muscles present, they are attached to the bone, what happened at that time? As I told, they work in pair. One is contract, it pulls the bone. Pulling means it will pull outward. So due to which the bone moves at the joint. What will happen? It will move the joint. As it contract, it pulls the bone, and due to which the bone moves at the joint level. Now muscle can only pull a bone, it can pull a bone, and it cannot push a bone. Only the pulling is there, but not pushing. We can't push, we can only pull it. So the two muscles, they are a pair of the muscles. They work together to help in the movement of a bone. So next over here, you will see that this actually how the movement occurs. First of all, you see this GIF that here the movement of the bones is possible. How it is moving? These are tricep muscle, these are the bicep muscle. One is getting contract, then again what is relaxation, that is in pair. Now I'll just take you back, the contraction and the relaxation. Contraction and the relaxation as the origin over here. You see, this is the bicep contract, the muscles over here, these are biceps, and the lower muscle triceps. When it is contracting, the lower bone, that becomes relaxed, and again alternate, when it tricep contract, biceps relax. And in the legs, what is the name of the muscle? That is quadriceps, because quadri means 4, bi means 2, tri means 3. So 3 layers of the muscles are here, and here 2 layers. So their contraction and relaxation occurs in pair, and due to this alternative contraction, the movement is possible for a joint. Same for here, but the name is different. That quadriceps in the front femoris contract, and at the back side of this leg, that is gastrocnemius. That is, here contraction and relaxation takes place, and then only the movement of the joint takes place. Now, how animals move? So this was all about that the movement in the in human beings, the different types of joint, different types of bones. I think it is clear to you there that the bones that are joined to the muscle with the help of the tendons, and there is movement is only possible when the contraction and relaxation, the muscles work in pair. Only then the movement is possible in the joints. Now, what is happening in the case of animals? There are different ways by which animals move from one place to another. They can move from one place to another as we are also moving, but how it is possible? Now, gait, the word over here, you need to understand what is the meaning of gait. Gait, that is a particular way of walking, how a particular organism is walking, its manner, its state of walking is known as a gait. Now, you can see the different animals, cow, buffalo, dogs, cats, they walk, they run. But the snake, they slither. As you can see the snake that slithering like this way. And then the birds, they used to fly. Insects, they walk, they fly, and even then they crawl. Crawling, as you all know, you have seen the small kid, small child, toddler crawling before it starts learning walking. Next, fishes, they used to swim. So these are the different gaits, the manners of the animals. Now we'll study about the different animals in this case, the earthworm, snail, cockroaches, birds, that snakes and the fish. So these are the animals that we'll consider. First one is the earthworm. How the movement is possible in case of earthworm? You all have seen during the rainy season it comes out. Now the body of the earthworm, how it looks like? It is segmented. Do you know the bones is present? No. Now many rings are joined end to end, and earthworm, it does not have the bones. What are they are having? They are having the muscles. And how the muscles help? It helps in the extend and shortening the body. That muscle that will help in the extending and shortening its body, as you might have seen. Now during the movement, what happens? The earthworm, first what it will do, it will extend it. Okay, it will extend the front part, as you have seen, like this way movement. Okay, so this movement is they are extending and then contraction there. So first end of the front part of the body, they extend it, keep the rear portion fixed. The next part is, now the next part is the fixed part over there on the ground. Now then they fixes the front end. Later on what will happen? The front end is fixed, and the later the back part is contracting. That releases the rear end. That means it helps in the forward movement. Now it shorten the body. What happened in that case? You have seen the movement of the earthworm. Its body shorten once and then it stretch. Shorten and then stretch. Now it pulls the rear end of the forward. Rear end, that is front end. Now this makes it movement forward a small distance. Small distance is moved like this way. So the earthworm, they move through the repeated muscle expansion and the contraction. Okay, so what is the how the movement is possible in earthworm? Repeated contraction and relaxation of muscles. Now their body also secrete the slimy substance. The slimy substance also helps in the movement, because if it is rough, they will be not able to move as much as easy way. So due to the secretion of this slimy substance, it helps in the movement. So this was about the earthworm. As you can see that the rear end, it is being extended, and as it is extended, now it is fixed. Now you will see the next end will push into the forward direction. So this is what the happen in the contraction, relaxation of the muscles, and the movement is possible in earthworm. They are having under its body the large number of tiny bristles. The small, as we are considering, we are walking with the legs, and there that is named as bristles. The small bristles and the hair-like structure that is projecting outward. Now these bristles are connected with the muscles. Okay, now these bristles are connected with the muscles, and the bristles help to hold a good grip. Grip means that they are on the any surface, and it helps in the good grip so that they can help in the easy movement. Now the earthworm, they eat its way through the soil. How they are eating? You have seen the earthworm, they move through the soil and eat through that the soil path. Now its body then throws away the undigested part material that it eats. Its body, what it do? Whatever the part it eats, it is throwing it and improve the soil quality. As you all know, earthworms are all known as the good farmers. They are the good farmers. They help the farmers in the soil fertility. Then next one, we are having the snail. You all have seen the snail. It found in the water near that areas, coastal areas also. Now snail, they move very slowly. What is the movement? They move very slowly. Now snail carries the shell. As you can see on the upper head, it's a rounded structure on its back, and it is known as shell. Now it is outer skeleton of the snail, but is not made of the bones. It is outer skeleton, but it is not made up of bones. Now the shell, this is a single unit and does not help in the movement from one place to another, and it has to drag along. This shell is not helping the snail in the movement, but it has to drag on its body where it is moving. Now snail has only 1 feet. If you observe it, that they are having only 1 feet. Now their foot is very large. This you can see, this is the single foot, and this is very large, and this area is very flat. Now what is the shape over here under it? That is a disc shape. You all have seen the disc that is round. So disc shape and made up of the strong muscles. Their muscles should be strong because they are having the shell on its head, on its back. The shell they need to take along with the movement. Now snail, they moves with the help of this foot. How the movement in the snail possible? Due to the presence of the single foot, which is very large, flat and disc shape. This is what actually it looks like. This is the shell that is on the back, and this you can see clearly the movement of the snail. This is disc shape. This is one single foot. Only on behalf of this single foot it carries its body, and on its back it is having the shell. Next is cockroaches. You all have seen the cockroaches at your home. You might have seen the movement also. Even you have seen sometimes they are flying also. So the cockroaches, they walk. They used to walk. They used to climb, and even they can fly in the air. Now the body is covered with a hard outer covering. You have seen the hard covering, the brown color, that is a hard outer skeleton. As in the case of snails, you have seen the shell, and in this case they are having the hard outer skeleton, which is made up of different units. They are joined together, and that permit the movement. Now the 3 pairs of legs are present. You can see in the figure, in the picture, that the 3 pairs of legs are present in the cockroach. So they help in the walking, and the 2 pairs of wings. Here 2 pairs of wings are present, and they are attached to the breast area of the cockroaches. Now the cockroach, they have the distinct muscles. From the lower end, you will see the disc shape, the semicircle type of the muscles are present, and the muscles near the legs, they move the legs for walking. How they are moving? This is the scenario to talk about here. Due to the muscles, they are distinct muscles are present, and it helps the legs for walking. Now breast muscle move the wings. Now here the breast muscles, they help the movement of the wings when the cockroach flies. So this was about the cockroaches. As you can see, these are the 3 legs here above the antenna, and there's a breast area where the wings are being attached, and lower end the muscles are present. Next we have the birds. You all have seen the birds. You have seen how they fly, the wings, and they walk on the ground also. And the birds, they're just like the ducks, swans, they swim in the water too. So the birds, they can fly. Why? How? Because their bodies are well suited for the flying and the bones are hollow and light. If their body is heavy, do you think they can fly? No. Their bones are actually adapted that way, they are formed that way that their bones are hollow within. That is, they make it light. And the hind limbs means the front part, that hind limbs they can consider the hands over. So hind limbs, these are, this hind limbs, these are the legs area, and the hind limbs, these are used for the walking, the foot, the legs. As we consider the hind limbs, the legs area. So hind limbs they use for walking and perching. Perching means to perch on any branch of a tree. And forelimbs, we are having the hands. The forelimbs, they are developed into a modified wings. The shoulder bones, they are strong. Why the shoulder bones are strong? Because they have to fly to long distance. Now, the breast bones are modified to hold the muscles of flight. Breast bones mean the front part of the birds. That is the breast bones. They are very strong. Why they are adapted? For the flight. The muscles of the flight which are used to move the wings up and down movement, so that the up and down movement will be very easy. Birds, they fly by constant flapping of their wings. How they fly, you all know, the constant flapping of their wings. So there need to be shoulder muscles and the breast muscles strong for these movements. This you can see, these are the legs, these are the hind limbs, and the forelimbs, these are modified into the wings. This is the breast area, and the shoulder part, this is very strong, so as to adapt for the flying purpose. Next we have the snakes. You all have seen the snakes. They are the long, maybe short also, and they are having the long backbone. They are very long. The backbone is very long, and they have many thin muscles. What is present? Long backbone and very thin muscles are present, and they are connected to each other. These muscles are connected to each other. So they are far from one another. Either the backbone is long, that is far away from one point to another point, if we see from head to tail of a snake, but they are connected to each other from one another. So they are interconnected, backbone, ribs and the skin. All three things are connected to each other. Now snake's body is that curves into many loops, and you have seen that snake is not moving straight. It moves in a loop form. Okay, so loop of a snake gives it a forward push. This movement in a loop, it helps it to push into the forward direction. So by pressing against the ground, it presses body against the ground, and then it's possible to move forward direction. Now the long body makes the loops, and each loop gives it a push. When this, say for example, one loop is this another loop, when it going to move another loop, then it will going to push the body of the snake. This is what the forward movement is, fast and not in a straight line. They move in a curve way. This was about the snake. As you can see, this curve movement, it is slightly pressed and it helps in the forward movement. And the ribs, the skin and backbone, these all three are connected to each other. The case of fishes, the fish movement, how the fish move. So body shape of fish is streamline. Streamline is this, the tapering at the end and broad in between. You can see this tapering at the ends and broader in the middle, that is a streamline. The head and the tail of a fish, they are smaller than the middle portion of the body. That is a bit smaller. You can see that this is the head part here, and the tail part, this is very different from the middle part. And the body tapers at both ends. It tapers, end is tapering. The shape allows the fish to move in the water easily. If this is not the shape of streamline, if it is not tapering, then it is not possible for fish to move through the water. Now the skeleton of the fish, that is covered with the strong muscles. The skeleton that we are having, the fish also have, they are having the strong muscles. During the swimming, the muscles make the front part of the body curve to one side and the tail part swing towards the opposite side. They move in a curve. The fishes, they move in a curve. Likewise, if the head is in this direction, the tail will be in this direction. If the head is going to be in this direction, the tail will be opposite. So it will make a curve line. So then quickly, the body and the tail curve to other side, and this makes the jerk like this way, and it try to push the body of in the forward direction. So this series of jerks, like this way of series of jerks, this makes the swim ahead for the fishes. This is how, by jerking way, by movement of this in the jerk form, in the curve form, the tail in different direction and head in different direction, the movement is possible in fishes. You can see this is the front part and it makes a curve this way. When fish moves, it start movement, head is in this direction. You will see the tail curves to other side. So this movement help in the jerk, and this jerk help the fish to move ahead. So this is what the movement of the fishes. As you can see how the fishes, beautifully they are swimming in the water. This is how, by jerking, by curve, making the curve, the fish can swim well. So this is all about this chapter number 8 of standard 6, and I hope it is clear to you all. We'll meet you soon in our next video. Stay tuned with us. Thank you.